All right, everybody, welcome to the Average Sucks Show. This is Michael Bernoff, and welcome back to an incredible episode. And today is about one of the, if not the most important element as a human being. It's about relationships. And at our events, typically what happens is people say it's either the most powerful part of their life or the most painful part of their life. And it comes down to communication. It comes down to relationships. So what I decided to do is to grab some dear friends, some students that have worked with us for years to talk about relationships, how the relationships has grown, how they found a way to work together in an incredible medical practice, and how they found a way to truly make relationships be something that grows in their life. So I want to welcome to our show, Slade and Diane Carlson. I'm super excited that you're here, and this is going to be incredible. I mean, we are going to hear about some incredible stuff today. We talked about it prior to you showing up, and it's all about communicating with animals. I'm just kidding. That's one of the things we do is horses and dogs and everything else. So I'm excited you're here, and I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. We met first, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And we met first. And did you manifest this? I mean, people want to know watching, hey, at Michael Bernoff events, do we manifest great relationships, or how does that work?
Yes and no. I mean,
okay, give me the yes and the no.
It's based on your past, of course, and your past experiences and what you know. But if you have a paradigm shift, then your whole world changes.
Got it. So in simple English, when we first met, did you two exist?
No.
Okay, very good. So were you looking for a relationship at the time, or you?
We did. I mean, we knew each other.
Yep.
But we weren't together.
Got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Got it. So Core does create the
Right.
ability for people's relationships to get better.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got that. Okay, very good. So if we get something wrong, jump in.
If I could say something
jump
here.
in.
Yeah, please.
Because we had a brief relationship.
Yeah.
And
How
then
brief?
It was 4 months.
Okay, 4 months is strong.
It was very strong, and he moved to San Diego.
Right.
And I took a year off or more of dating anybody, which was great. However, during that time, he went to Core.
Okay.
And so when we got back together,
Different person.
Right.
What did you see that was different?
He was more relaxed. He had better communication. He was good with his word.
Got it.
And
Was he bad to start, or was he better with it?
He was impatient to start.
Got
He's
it.
a very impatient, Our relationship
take
the
it.
first time around, I love you. Our relationship the first time around was like watching a cat that wanted to play with the water and then would back up when the water came too close.
Yeah.
Play with the water? No, I can't play with the water. And so that was our first 4 months together,
Good analogy.
Pre-Core.
Yeah.
pre-Core.
Right.
And
Got
then
it.
after Core, he was like, here I am, let's go. We're in a relationship.
Okay.
And me, since I had not done Core yet, was like, I know Kitty and water.
So
Slade.
what was it? What was that like? Okay, so let's talk about this real
Right.
quick, because this is interesting. I want to take this from a lot of different ways.
Okay.
Core Strength Experience, just so everybody watching this right now, is one of our 2.5-day events. It is completely transformational, teaching how to communicate with yourself, communicate with other people, figure out who you really are in life. It is a simple thing. The hardest part, I think, is just committing that you'll actually go. Once you're there, it is easy and simple. Answer a few questions, and you come out the other side like a conveyor belt, radically different. I would say it is simple, the event. It's accepting that you're not where you want to be, and doing, like you mentioned earlier, I'll want to hear about this, your definition of fine later, but we'll get back to the ADD later. So what I'd love to figure out is, and this is really fascinating, is you come back from an event and you experience someone different. And this is one of the things we talked about at our Superhuman event the other day. We said that was a lot of times people, you wind up feeling different, and it's like you have to accept, wait a second, I'm doing things different, acting different. What was it like? Because it wasn't just Core. Like, you ran into a guy that acted different. Were you trying to undo that? Were you confused? Were you trying to lift up the veil, figure out what's going on? I really would love you to go back there, because that's what happens when husbands and wives sometimes come home if they don't go together to the event.
Right.
Or a sister goes. Like, I remember when I first got into personal development and my sister saw me. I'm the kid that lit the backyard on fire. Like, what the hell do I know about investing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I did that.
You what's that? You lit your backyard on fire? I like you. I like you. What was crazy is I made a sheet above her head, and we made a tent, and we made a fire below it. Idiots, right? Side note, did you try to undo it? Did you I'd love to just really understand, because this is something our folks are going to deal with relationship-wise.
So we weren't together when he was at Core.
And
we weren't talking at all.
I get it, but a new man showed up.
And a new man
I don't care if
showed
your
up.
gardener changes.
For me, it was, I don't trust that he's not going to run away again.
Yeah.
And that's my voice, my tape of all men run away.
Okay.
Because that was what I experienced with him the first time and in other relationships.
Okay.
And so it took a while for me to actually build that trust that, okay, he's not going away.
Yeah.
And we had a long distance relationship, 2 hours apart. And it did take a while. And then he talked me into, and it really wasn't a hard sell, to do call to action.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of...
What did he say to get you to actually do call to action?
I believe it was something to the fact, I really would like you to do this. Please take the time to do this. It will change your life. It's something that I did. And the fact, I think I did it because he had changed so much.
Got it.
And I didn't know it was from Core.
What did you notice in his change? You said he was calmer.
He was calmer. He was a better communicator. He wasn't so quick to go running out the door.
Okay. I bet he was fast before. He sounds like he was really quick.
He was track. He did run track.
Can't fault him for that.
No, I was a distance runner, so I get it. But he was just more down to earth and committed and willing to be there and hold my hand. And
So
I'm
he
not
said,
going
do this
anywhere.
little thing over the phone, do call to action.
Exactly.
Which don't have to leave your house. You could do it from Sedona. You could do it from Flagstaff. You
Exactly.
could do it from anywhere safe.
Right.
And you said, I'll give it a shot. Have you done stuff like that before? Have you?
Never.
So you were in chiropractic, which is very open to personal development. Usually.
Absolutely.
Very open. And
Absolutely.
you'd never done anything like that before outside of reading some books or?
I would say I did some landmark.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Back in college, so it had to be 20 plus years ago that I did some landmark.
After the Est landmark.
In St. Louis.
Yeah, okay.
And I couldn't tell you much about it other than I loved the woman's shoes who was doing the presentation.
You were just checking out the shoes.
I was checking out her shoes. I was close to the front row. But I didn't get as much out of it, nearly as much out of it as I got from coming here.
Okay, got it. So you did call to
Absolutely.
action.
So I did call to action, and what I had learned, and I got upset with myself because my accountability was now in the toilet because I was using my children as an excuse for not taking my business seriously. That's what I learned from call to action, which was eye-opening and upsetting at the same time.
I think that this thing happens in our lives. Like when you accept you're not where you want to be, a few things happen. This is a fascinating concept. Like you accept that you're not where you want to be, and then opportunity presents itself because it's like, oh, I could go there. But at the same time, insecurity shows up. You go, shit, I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Right.
And then at the same time, you realize there's a gap. I have room to grow, and I have more to do. And I thought I was this doctor. I thought I was great. I thought I was famous. I thought I was awesome. I'm still screwed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe not screwed up. I'm still not where I want to be. So
Correct.
you realize that. You stop BSing yourself.
I stopped BSing myself.
Pretty good for a phone call.
It was fantastic for
And
a
if you
call.
haven't taken call to action yet, sign up for call to action. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
And I'll somehow explain that later how you guys can do that.
Yeah.
But it really was, that was the open door for me to actually take my business seriously. And I changed. I really changed at that point. And that was the first step in the momentum for me. And I would say, before it was like maybe a drop in the water wheel. And then as call to action came, then that water wheel really, like the momentum really started going.
Nice.
And then, all right, you need to do core. I don't know what core is. And he would not explain to me.
Wait, hold on. But can you explain it, though?
It's hard, especially when
we
you're
have a
new to
marketing
it.
issue.
Yeah.
Any marketers watching this, explain to me how to explain it.
Right.
I think it means different things to different people.
It does.
It's like, it's not, and I don't want to make this whole thing about just the events. It's like what you get out of it. Like, what did you get out of it that you could actually explain to somebody? Like, what changed? Because I want to get to your relationship here in a minute.
Absolutely.
And I want to figure out, like, what did you get out of it that you could actually articulate?
I think answers that you were always searching for in other places.
Can you give me a specificity?
Well, you read self-improvement books. You're always looking for the answer or the example or the leader or a mentor that you can emulate. And you could never find that, or I couldn't, in books. And you hit a twang. You twanged it. You hit that for me.
Jersey.
Yeah, you hit a nerve.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
you hit the nerve.
Oh, twang,
Yep.
twang.
There you go.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then that's where it started to open up and make sense that, all right, it's the answers are in here, not out there.
I think a lot of times people are looking on the outside. It's like they'll go to Dr. Phil trying to figure out a relationship instead of realizing, wait a second,
Right.
I'm running, she's not chasing, I'm losing,
Yeah.
and nobody's winning.
Right.
And I think a lot of that comes down to understanding that. So you came to Core.
I came to Core.
Did you guys come together that time? Like
We did.
You were both there together,
Yeah.
but were you together?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in a relationship.
We're now in a relationship.
Back on, cat's not running out the door.
Exactly. We were right on the money.
But not working together yet.
Not working together yet.
Yep.
And the difference that Core made was, in many respects, there's accountability there. You have somebody who's looking after you. You have your partner who's looking after you, making sure that you are not running out the door, that you're actually getting it. The other beautiful thing, and there was a lot of emotional things for me that came up regarding my past, but listening to everybody else's stories, it was like we're all in the same pool together. We all have the same, it's the same label. It may be the different story how we got there, but it's the same damn label. And we're all working with the same stuff. Yep. And it's a matter of, are you going to let that stuff keep you here? Or can you just set that stuff aside, know it's still over there, and just keep walking through that door? That's what Core did for me, was, all right, let's put the bullshit aside and walk through that door. Yeah. And it was still, it kept going and it was terrifying. I remember that last night before Core, or the last night before the graduation.
End. Yeah.
And it was terrifying. You were terrifying, by the way. And because I didn't know what
terrifying.
It was yeah.
Was I terrifying or you were terrified?
I was terrified of what possibly, what if I didn't come up with the right answer and I would not be able to graduate or whatever it was.
I don't think we even used the term graduate. That's your term.
That was my term. But it was, if I don't
basically everybody
get
goes
this,
home.
then it's a sham on me and I'll be the outcast.
And you didn't have any of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, of course.
Okay, cool. All right, that's the whole point. That I meant to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so, I think after that first Core, because that was in April.
Yeah, that was the spring one.
That was the spring one, and then we opened up the office.
Yes. So,
the new office.
So talk to me about that. Now, when you said we opened up the office, started working together.
So what had happened was, we had decided at that point that we were going to live together. And whether or not, he was going to move up to Flagstaff to be with me. And I have a heart issue, which high elevation and my heart don't necessarily agree anymore. And so it was a decision to either come all the way back down to the valley, which I grew up down here, didn't really want to be down here, or I had already been in practice in Sedona for about 10 years at that point. And the office I was in, I was an associate. I had been in practice for 19 years. I had never had my own office because I was raising children and using that as a fine excuse just to work from 11 to 2. I had a great life. And we decided to open up a brand new office in Sedona, and he was going to run the management end, the business end for me, and I was going to be the doctor, which it was scary for me at first.
What was scary about that?
What was scary for me about that was because it felt like to me that all the weight was on my shoulder. So that if we failed, it's on me. That's how I felt.
Right.
Because he had never done this before. I feel, and maybe this is old way of thinking, that a man always needs his own thing. Okay. That is, I believe it's important for a man to have his job, something he's proud of, something that this is what I do.
Let me ask a question. Were you thinking any of this?
Probably not.
Not at all. No,
it's okay if I get you guys in a fight here. I mean, it's part of my show, right? You got to be like a little Jerry Springer. Just don't hit anybody with a chair. Okay. But you weren't thinking any of this.
No, to me, it was like, why don't you have your own practice? And having gone through Core, now we also had the additional confidence inside to make a decision and make that change. So that's what it made all the sense in the world to me. So
you're thinking, let's move forward. You're scared.
Yeah.
I was scared just because of the responsibility of, I felt I was carrying financially, carrying everything. And he was leaving his job down here to be with me.
Got it.
I took a pay cut.
Okay.
Yeah. You did. Yeah. At that time. And the beautiful thing about it, and we've had this business open for 3 years. We've been in the black since day one.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
Since the end of 2015.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been that long?
We'll be married 3 years this August.
I feel like it was yesterday you guys got married.
I know.
Yes.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. August what?
August 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay. My parents are the 16th, 50-year anniversary this year.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Congratulations.
I better do something.
Yeah.
Big number.
Yes. It was the best thing that we could have ever done.
Yeah.
And I have to say, my practice is so busy that I don't have time to sit and train somebody at the front desk. I don't have time to tell you how to answer the phone. I did some things like, please answer it this way, this and that. Or if I was near the front and I heard something, then I would just be like, hey, can you not say it this way?
Say it like this next time. Yeah, we do the same thing.
However,
medical is new to me. I didn't know.
He was such a natural, I think, from being in radio, plus learning what he learned at Core as far as communication how to build rapport. There is no way we could be where we are right now without you, without this. There was no way that anybody could have built what we built.
Yeah.
At 1 year mark, 2 year mark, there's no way.
So let me ask a couple questions, because this makes sense to me. Deborah and I have been working together for a long time. We were crazy. Like, I got to tell everyone the story. Right. We got married, had Maya like a couple of months after, not had her, but like she was coming soon. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right after we got married, we remodeled an entire house, moved 2 times. I think we had like some ghosts in one of our houses, crazy stuff, weird stuff, all within like 12 months.
Right.
Most people can't even make it to remodel and stay married.
That's what we did.
Let me just make certain I'm really clear.
Yes.
Started a new relationship, got married, opened up a brand new practice.
All within 1 year.
All within 1 year.
Yeah.
Got it operational, quit your job, got together, moved everything, and made it work.
Moved twice.
Right.
Moved twice.
Yeah.
All that within a couple of year period.
Yeah.
1 year.
1 year. Okay. So within a 12-month period, you did what most people cannot do. What is the secret to that? And I want to like, for couples and people watching that, or just individuals, like, because relationships, and this is a big thing I want to say, relationships are not just about there's like you and there's you and then there's an us and then there's you with your animals and you with your patients. Like, we're dealing with a multitude of relationships, and I do have a really cool training that I want to give everybody watching this on top of it, something to share with you based on this too, and then I'll add a little bit to it. Is do a text into this number, and I want to give you a relationship audio video. It's absolutely incredible on this type of a topic. Text to 480-800-8051 the word relationships with an S, because I think a lot of people screw up because they think it's only a relationship, and it's about relationships. It's 480-800-8051. Text into that number. I get a really cool 30-minute training I want to share with you on how to build relationships and really how to start, what to do next. Not even like how to have them, but what to do next outside of this. But I'm going to need to add to that program because I want to hear what you guys have to say. So what is the secret? Like, if you were to sit down with somebody right now and you were to say to them, okay, I got it. We've gotten this far. I got what I got out of Core. You've changed your expectations. You've made it work. If a couple said to you, like, we're considering working together, what would you recommend? Because Deborah and I were going to kill each other for the first couple of months because it was my business like yours, and you jumped in. Like, we were going to kill each other. We're both type A. So,
well, I did not perfect my Darth Vader death grip. There's times where I thought if I could just...
You were going to kill him? Okay.
And every day is great for the most part. Okay. But there are times that if there's words that happen before you get to the office, it's a matter of leaving that at the door.
How do you separate those two things? I know we say that theoretically.
Theoretically, he is better at it, I believe, than I am.
Okay, then let me ask you. How do you do that?
I learned how to do it because I had to in my radio career.
Okay.
You can't bring that to the microphone.
I get it. So how do you turn it off? So let's say you're at the microphone.
For me, it's a switch. It's automatic. I can't even tell you.
Tell me what that switch looks like. I want to really go back in time, because like when I had Goldberg on the show and he was talking about radio, he said like one of the things he learned is before you start, you're talking to one person.
Right.
What is your technique that you use to like literally switch relationships from the problem to or moving forward? Like, walk me through that. Like, theoretically, you flip a switch.
Right.
But in the real world, what happens?
My switch is first a visual. I literally envision a curb.
Okay, a curve?
A curb.
Okay, a curb.
Leave it at the curb.
Okay, I've got it. Like, so what color curb?
It's yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it one of those little like things that you drive over with your car and you go, shit, I shouldn't have done that?
It's a real square curb.
Okay.
Yeah, a toe buster.
Okay. Yep.
And then it's a mental shift. Literally putting a smile on your face physically, whether you are in a good mood or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you put a smile on your face, you sound different.
Okay, show me your...
Whether it's over the phone, over a microphone.
I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. Don't close your eyes if you're driving, folks. But I'm going to close my eyes. Be who you are with no smile real quick.
Okay, I'm not going to smile right now as I talk to you.
Okay, keep talking.
Okay, now I'm going to smile while I talk to you.
You sound very different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you turn on the smile,
Absolutely.
which releases the dopamine and the norepinephrine and the serotonin in your brain, which makes you feel good. Oh, using Core again. Right, cool. Very good.
Yeah.
So what techniques would you use to, what is it that you learned about making relationships? Because obviously neither of you have had effective relationships to the level that you needed prior to being with each other. What is it that makes your relationship work so well?
I think it's the confidence in each other to know that at the end of the day, it's still a safe place to be, no matter what. I mean, it's almost a contract.
Okay. Have you had a conversation about it?
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So what did that conversation go
I mean,
like?
even our first year of that whole craziness, my mantra, which I believe I stole from you, was it was okay to be shitty.
Yeah.
I did not.
That's HIT at its finest.
Exactly. Because I wanted that practice, the new practice, to be so well-oiled, jumping on in. And I'm a perfectionist to a point. And I had to let that go and go, you know what? It's not going to be perfect. It is what it is. And that's what worked for me. But he jumped in and he took the reins on his end, which allowed me to be the doctor on my end.
Right.
And he does his work. I do my work. I don't have to worry about him. There is a commitment with each other, a commitment to the business, and a confidence that I don't have to be constantly micromanaging him.
Right.
Now at home, that might be a little different.
You micromanage me at home?
Yeah.
No.
He micromanages you?
So I seem to have
we
trouble
switched
apparently turning on the exhaust fan above the stove quite often, which is a hot point for one of us. Okay. So
he's laughing about it though.
Yes, he is. So, but at the office, like he says, he trips over the curb. I don't have that visualization. I typically get into the office and I'm, all right, first patient's up, here we go. And it's, yeah, you're smiling. Hi, how are you today? Yeah. How can I help you? What do we need to do with you today?
Yeah.
And so after 3 hours and now we're at lunch, I'm already like,
you're going.
Yeah.
And I've already kind of forgotten for the most part what the beef was that morning. And then when all the patients leave, then all of a sudden I look at him and it's apparently the beef's still there. Okay.
You can see your face right there. Have you done drama? Have you taken drama classes?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I could tell. You literally just Jason Voorhees.
Kind of like, okay, see you at home. You know?
Yeah.
But it's
Take the long route.
Yeah, exactly. So for the most part, patients most likely do not know when there's an issue.
Yeah.
They don't. Because he's doing his job so perfectly, and I'm doing mine to the best of my ability. Perfectly. That there's no time to be thinking about, I wish I could have, would have. Because that's going to stop me from being right here, right now. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I have malpractice for what I do. So if I mess you up, and I've never had a case, thank you, knock on wood, after 22 years, never had a case or a concern. Yeah. So I have to be focused.
Right.
I can't be worried about what he's doing or what he didn't do or why he said that or why did he have to growl at me this morning because, there's just no time for that.
Right.
And it's useless. It's useless time that we can't get back.
I love it. So let me ask the magic question. So it sounds to me like you're doing great. Business is fantastic. You guys are happy as all can be.
Yes.
You have your ups and downs. We want to kill each other. Some days love each other. Normal
absolutely.
relationship stuff. You mentioned earlier when we were talking earlier about your definition of fine has changed, like the acting like you're okay versus really being okay. What did that really mean?
Being fine is that putting on a face, even though the wheels and everything else, the meltdown is continuing inside, but I'm fine.
Is that something you were raised to do?
Of course.
Okay.
I was one of those that children should be seen and not heard type of situations. And I was not given a voice or allowed a voice, actually until I got pregnant.
Okay.
And then when I became pregnant, you couldn't hold me back for giving my thoughts.
Okay. Because you became the mom.
Because I became the mom.
Yeah.
Were you told to have a voice as a kid, Slade?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you had a voice, you were not to have a voice.
No.
Right.
And then you ran into each other. It's amazing how we attract the people that are the opposite of the thing that we need to work on the most.
Exactly.
So things were better, things are working out. You didn't learn how to communicate when things were wrong. So when you watched him run in the past, he might have been like, well, things are a little off here, and he goes. Where you were going to just sit there and take it.
Yes.
Yes. So
because he always came back.
And you criticized the running where you didn't have the courage to run because running is like a voice. It's like speaking up for yourself. Right. You're more like, I'm going to sit here and take it. Because that's kind of what happens if you grow up the way we grow up. It's fascinating how that works. So put that into context. And that stuff doesn't go away. But a lot of times people come to our events. It's like you can deal with it better, but it doesn't always completely go away. It's just not there as accessible as it used to be. So he might still have his moments, you have your moments, but my big question, this is the big question I want to ask you, is like, how can I help? Like, if we had a magic wand and you had a question about anything, what would you want to know the answer to? Because we can act like everything's great and act like everything's going awesome, but I'd love to figure it out because I got you guys beat. I mean, Deborah and I have been working together 13 years.
Of
LinkedIn
course.
popped the other day and it said, hey, congratulate Deborah on her 13th year at the Human Communications Institute.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Do you know what I'm saying? We've been at this a long time.
Right.
So I would love to figure out, like, if there's anywhere I can help you, whether it's relationship or business, or you could be at, like, whatever it is. Like, you get your own private core here right now, own private event,
Well,
whatever you'd want to know an answer to. And I'll let you go first.
Absolutely. When it comes to the home life, and there is the beef that comes up,
We use tofu in our house.
it is. Sorry.
Pat and interrupt.
Soy free. So it's almost disappointing in a way because we've gone through this. We know how to communicate.
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
We're human.
Give me an
being
example of one
human.
of these
Yeah.
things that would relate to other people.
Just the silliest thing, like why'd you leave the towel on the floor? I tripped over it again. You know, just something simple can always, or you didn't get enough rest,
Or the exhaust.
whatever, the exhaust.
Fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who moved my cheese?
Okay. Literally.
Silly. Just silly stuff that just.
Is it silly?
Yeah.
Well, it's typically I will see him
Yeah.
do a tone or hear a tone
Yeah.
or whatever, and then I react to it.
Okay.
Yeah, tone sensitive.
It's
So
it's
who-
a reaction
Who
versus
taught you about the exhaust
walking
fan?
on. Yeah, who did? Who do I need to call?
Well, I just didn't want the carbon monoxide. That's all.
I get
It's
it,
a
but
gas
you had to
pedal.
learn that from somewhere. Where'd you learn about the exhaust fan?
It's just a guy thing, I guess. I don't know, just common sense. Get
It's important to you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get
See,
the
and I
exhaust
see it
out.
as,
Yeah.
isn't it burning off the things on?
Yeah.
It's burning fire, which means it's burning it off. That's
So
how I felt. I
if
don't
each
know.
of us have things that are actually important to us,
Right.
Right.
and we're willing to fight for certain things, and we're not willing to fight for certain things, what if the person fighting is actually just, they would fight with or without you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Meaning, you're just the person that's there at that moment. They would yell at whatever. So this exhaust fan thing, you wouldn't
Yeah.
walk. If she wasn't there, what would you do? Just flip it off? Flip it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing.
But you're fighting for that. It's important, and you just
Right.
need to be the one that's there.
Right.
So what's interesting about this is the fight is why does someone fight for that?
Well, obviously, it's important to him at some level, and for me,
I never seen anyone fight for anything that wasn't important.
No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
for me, I get upset because I feel like I'm being talked to like I'm a child
You might be.
versus
So
a partner.
If you remember
right,
back,
right.
one of the things I teach at HIT with transactional analysis, and I talked about the parent, the child, and the adult. This is not my material, but it's Eric Bernay's material, and you can check it out. Scripts People Live is awesome. Is that there are tones we have where you guys can be having a total adult conversation, and 1 minute later, somebody will say something, like Deborah will say, like, what made you pick those shoes? And I'm like, I instantly get insecure.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
She's literally wanting to know what made me pick those shoes, but I hear my dad. So I put her immediately in my dad's voice.
Yeah.
Or my mom's voice or something, and immediately I become the child.
Right.
So what happens is the way that you communicate it with the exhaust fan is you do take on the parent role, and you said you did something wrong. In order to hear that correctly, you have one of two options: to become a parent and just fight, or go to our natural tendency, which is the child. So what happens is you mention the exhaust fan. Oh, you're exhaust. You're like a child,
Yeah.
and you have just dismantled the relationship.
Right.
What needs to happen is how would two adults talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love him just to go turn it on and walk away.
He could,
That's one option.
and he should. But have we talked about this before today?
No.
Okay, so we're talking about it now,
Right.
which means
Right.
expectations are getting clear. If you just turned it off, or left it on next time, turned it on, turned it off, whatever it is that you needed to do, I don't understand the context of it.
Right.
If you just did that and accepted, that's her thing. She is intuitive. She runs and guns. She has
Right.
patients laying on their backs as soon as they walk in, and we got to adjust them, and that's just how we go, and that's how she does things. And you accepted that's what she does, and your job is to turn that off, be bothered or not bothered. How does that change stuff?
Right. So for me, it's a safety thing, I guess, or a health thing that I don't want carbon monoxide in the house.
She doesn't want it either.
For her own
No.
safety.
She doesn't
You know
want
what
it
I mean?
either.
So why
But what if
wouldn't
she never changed that?
Yeah. Why? Because of her tapes. You know.
What if she never changes it?
What if tomorrow I just keep doing this?
I stop at a point.
Stop what?
I wouldn't do it anymore. I wouldn't make it known. I might even stop turning it off or on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't make the house unsafe, would you?
No. No.
So what if you did that, accepted this is what she currently does?
If I accepted it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not following.
What if you just said she is not going to ever get the lesson?
Oh, okay.
I just assumed 99 years old, you're sitting there in your rocking chair, she never got the lesson.
Okay, so then there's a value to that no longer exists. So now, what's the point? And it's not worth it.
The conversation, the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, could you just flip it on and off?
Yes.
Do you get the concept?
Absolutely.
So now we're having the conversation.
Right.
So granted, it's probably better to be safe, and you probably should flip the damn thing on. You probably should learn the lesson, but you got 50 other things that we need to do as well.
Right.
What are you guys getting from this conversation? Because there's more to this than just shut up about it and just whatever. And I'm not changing the standard here, but what are we learning from this conversation? Because this goes deeper than this. This goes with your employees, your friends, your family. If that's who somebody is, she has shown you through multiple occasions that she's not going to do it. Are you frustrated with her, or are you frustrated with you that you're expecting a different result?
In the beginning, it's her until you realize that it's you.
We flip that switch on ourselves and we recognize that's what they are, who they are. Because, I mean, we got different approaches. You can get in there and like flick her hand up and down, make her do it.
Right.
This isn't about the switch.
Yeah.
This is about people operate differently.
Correct.
Does this make sense? So you're having a thought right now. What are you thinking?
No, I agree with you 100% that yes, we do. We do operate. I gave up a while ago that he would be thinking like I think. And I'm definitely, not going to think like he thinks. We have two different backgrounds, two different chemistries. There's no way we could. There's no way we could.
I mentioned this at one of the events the other day. I said I was in New York and I was picking up some homeopathic remedies and I was walking out of the store and I'm giving this guy advice because I just give advice to people, right? Yeah. And this guy goes, have you ever heard of biodiversity? And I'm like, no idea. What is that? He goes, the different biology two human beings have may have a diverse reaction of what works for them and what doesn't. So like I'm big into homeopathic and I sort of said, hey, to get rid of a fever, it could be belladonna. Yes, it could also be 3 other things as well. Chiropractic does work for the majority of people on earth. Highly recommended. There are circumstances where it's not the best idea. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just came out of head trauma. We probably don't want to adjust them, not at that moment. So what I'm getting at is we all have our own diversities and different things of stuff that we deal with and in our lives. So you have your way, you have your way. And I think one of the greatest things in a relationship is if it's like the sign we have in the men's room, I do my thing, you do your thing. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. You're not in this world to live up to mine. If we look at relationships that way, that's huge. So what else can I help you guys with? I mean, relationships or anything. I mean, you guys are doing such a great job. And then I want to get some advice for other people.
Yeah. I think just seeking out the resources and the help that you need because you can't do it all on your own.
Yep. Can't do what on your own? Anything?
Build the next level that we want to build. We can't go.
What is that next level? Talk to me about it. Get me excited. What's the next level? Where are we going? Where are we going? What are we doing? I love it. I got you. We got you here. Let's go. What's next?
So what we're doing right now
and drink hint water makes the difference.
Yeah. I am completely hydrated right now. Thank you.
Yes.
What we're doing right now. So after we announced when we were part of leadership of Core over a year ago.
You guys work together as a couple, right?
We do.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we announced, that was actually a little bit more of his idea, that we were going to have a reality television show with all of the animals that I treat.
That was my outcome at the end of the last Core.
That was the outcome. And
with Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed and his sister. And we left that weekend. That Monday morning, I have a patient who is a Hollywood producer, an Emmy-winning writer, phenomenal man, and asked him outright, if this is what we'd like to do, how do I go about doing this? Who do I call? What do I do?
What is it?
And he said to me, well, I was looking for a new project. I love it. Let's do it. I wasn't expecting it to be.
So is the ball rolling?
The ball is rolling.
Been rolling.
So we've been filming for some time.
Okay. That's why you're so good on camera.
Well, we're getting better.
Okay.
Yes, so we are in almost to an editing phase. Right now, we have to do some more filming this weekend, and then it all will go to editing. This has been a much longer process than I was expecting it to be. It just takes a while.
Well, in the meantime, she went back to college almost.
I did.
Yeah, she got recertified after 20 years So there's a American Veterinary Chiropractic Association. So in order to stay out of the hot water, if we were going to go public working on animals, we needed to make sure she was certified with the state, so veterinarians or the state doesn't get hot on our case. So
because Arizona does not require that.
Yeah.
I'd never needed it before.
But it was a necessity.
It was a necessity if we were going to do something on the national level.
Right.
And so I spent 5 months of last summer, which is why I wasn't at Core, going back and forth to Dallas for extensive training, tons of test taking and practical exams, written exams,
How did that get in the way of your
exams.
practice?
We had to close the office,
On Fridays. On once a month for 5
Fired
months.
on Monday.
It was exhausting, but it was worth it. Knowing that the outcome was, if I get A, I can go to B, and if I get B, we can get to C.
Yeah.
And that was the whole. Okay.
So how long until we're on TV?
Well,
It's a matter of getting picked up. So it's the sizzle
Yeah.
reel we're putting together right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
and then so that will go to production company, and then hopefully our goal is Animal Planet.
Okay.
If not Netflix.
Right.
There's really.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's where we're going right now. And like I say, because of finishing that completion, the AVCA certification, it has really turned the practice, as far as the animal practice, just up.
How do people find out about your practice?
That's the beauty of it. We started this business, the practice, the brick and mortar, on our checkbooks. I mean, we didn't go into debt. We thought we had to, but we didn't. And we were, in the black from day one. I've never owned a business like that. I've been self-employed, but never owned one. I didn't know how to build a website, do SEO. I knew marketing because I did that in radio for almost 20 years. So I just took all that operating skill from running radio stations and applied it to what I knew we needed to make this business.
So what were those things you did?
So we were so fortunate in the fact that most businesses do have to market. You got to find your customers.
What did you do?
She already had a customer base. She already had a patient base. So it only exploded from there. And then I must have done something right on Google because people don't stop calling. And it's mostly
Is this
word
for
of
the
mouth.
animals or for the
Both.
chiropractic?
Both.
So the animals, that has always been word of mouth. I have never advertised out of just kind of staying below the radar, so to speak, and it's always been word of mouth. And right now we do 12-hour days or more on Thursdays,
Nonstop?
just going to horse ranches. And it just, it's nonstop.
All over.
And it's fantastic. It really is. It's a great life. It is exhausting, but it's a great life. And I mean, if we can go back, I mean, I don't want anybody out of fear of, oh my gosh, how much is this going to cost? It really wasn't that much money we laid down, under 10 grand
Wow.
to get the business started. And the beauty of it, yes, I had been practicing in Sedona for 10 years. At that point, my name was never on the door.
Yeah.
Ever. People knew of me.
How many patients do you think you have now?
We have a patient base of
We have over 750, but
Actives.
1,000 total.
You have 1,000 customers that you have activated in a very small town. What's the population up there?
10% of Sedona, which is population.
Okay,
of
so you
about
got
10,000 people,
got 10 about 5 to 10% in off season.
off season, and Sedona's a second home place.
Yeah.
Mostly now it is all
You could almost open up a practice in Phoenix for the rest of the other people that come down here for the other side of the time of the year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They'd follow her down.
It's crazy.
What do you think that is? Like what is the relationship you're building with them that makes the magic happen? Because I have a lot of chiropractors watch this. I work with some of the most elite chiropractors in the world. They would want to know how to do that.
How we do it, or at least
I think it's a
it
relationship.
starts with him.
Okay.
It starts with the first answering.
Are you
of the
doing
phone.
adjustments?
No.
No,
Okay,
it is the first. Their first perception on that phone.
Tell me what that sounds like. Let me just hear it real quick. Let me hear it. I call in.
Thanks
What's
for
the name of
calling
it?
Core Chiropractic. This is Slade. How can I help you?
That's hot. Yeah, I like that's
so
cool.
I never knew I was going to be a
Well,
receptionist.
Mr. Slade, I was in a car accident because that's how most people find the chiropractor to start with. Do you guys take insurance?
Yes, we do. We might be able to help you with that. Who do you have? It's just you're
He's
building.
good.
He's good.
You're
He was a
building
natural.
relationship.
Yeah.
You're just building a relationship right away. You're not being
Exactly.
You're not being a robot.
I love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then once they're in, and once I have, they have the paperwork that everybody has to fill out, and I'm looking at the clipboard as I walk in the room, and hi, Mr. Bernoff, how can I help you today? I see that you have low back pain, this and that. Oh, wow, you're from New Jersey. Hey, I have family over, and I am already, I could care less that you have low back pain. I mean, I care. But I am building rapport with you, trying to find some sort of commonality, some sort of, I see you have 2 kids. Really, how old are they? Wow, yeah, I have a 21-year-old. I got this and
You're
that.
talking my language now, communication.
Yeah.
And it's building that rapport and I try to infuse humor.
Yeah.
Because going to a chiropractor, especially your first time, is nerve-wracking. It is very scary. There's a lot of people that watch, kung
Sounds
fu
like
movies.
Core.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, they think I'm going to take their head off. I haven't lost a head yet. But I try to infuse humor because I want them to relax.
She's got wit.
I want them to know, hey, listen, we may laugh about it, but at the end of the day, my hands know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to walk out of here feeling better. I can almost guarantee it, depending on what's going on. You may not be completely cured, but you know what? We're going to keep working on that. And, next time, bring a picture of your Uncle Danny. I haven't seen him in years. I like to build that rapport and that commonality so they feel like, hey, we're at home.
Right.
And our office is stunning. It's
beautiful.
For that town. Yeah. Lots of sunlight, beautiful, high-end fixtures, very tall wood doors. It's just...
Yeah, it's all in our good.
How does somebody find you? They go to Sedona. How do they find you? How do we send people watching this in Sedona right now?
Well, most people will say chiropractors near me. That's how they search.
Got it, but give me a website.
We are at corechiropracticaz.com.
Got it. Phone number?
We are at 928-862-4333.
One more time in that voice.
928-862-4333.
I love it. Yeah. I get an interesting scenario here real quick. Yeah. So both of you do something similar, but you both do things different.
Correct.
And I think the key to the relationship, if I'm really dissecting this right now, is to understand why this is working so well. You're similar enough that you're both into people and rapport and communication, but you're different because you're not doing adjustments, and you're not doing radio voice,
right.
Okay, and meaning you're handling the phone and you're not doing SEO either,
correct?
Because we got too much ADD for that. Yeah. But to sit down and do that. But what's interesting is that your commonality you have is what keeps the relationship going.
Yeah.
Right.
The difference is who you are individually, and I think that respecting that and loving that about each other is a real huge piece of the puzzle. So,
absolutely.
Any advice? We're going to wind down here in a couple minutes. This is super, super exciting. Any advice that you'd have for any just human beings out there that have not found who it is they need to find? Maybe they're in the relationship that you were priorly in together, where the runner, or maybe they were in the ones you guys were in the past. Is there anything that any just thoughts or feelings, maybe stuff you learned with us or anything you want to share that would be like if you had somebody sitting across from you and they're like either in that thing you were in for that 4 months that wasn't working, or you were in just the wrong relationship, you want to turn around, it's not one in at all. Like, what would you say to someone? Because I want people to have what you have. I want people to have what Deborah and I have.
I would say fix yourself first. Quit looking, quit dating for the moment, and fix yourself first.
I agree.
Because you're going to bring in people, if you're constantly disappointed by X, Y, or Z, if you're constantly picking something apart, you're going to attract somebody that's possibly going to do the same thing, or you just cannot hold on to a relationship because you're an ass.
Yeah.
And you don't mean to be.
Yeah.
So you were an ass at one point?
I'm certain I was.
Okay.
I am certain I can be to this day on occasion.
Me too.
So you fix yourself.
But fix yourself first and build that life that you want.
Yep.
Instead of waiting for somebody to come rescue you or save you, fix yourself first. Because then, you know what? I've always wanted to go to the gym. I've always wanted to be this and that. Go. Give yourself an hour a day. Give yourself 30 minutes a day, even if you have to break it up twice a day.
Yeah.
Do something, and then you're going to put yourself in that position to meet somebody who is whatever it is that you're looking for. Become that person.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Drop the fear.
Fear of what?
The fear of change, the fear of making a decision, the fear of what might happen.
The what ifs.
Because if you don't, you're going to lay there in bed wondering why you didn't. At the end of the day.
I love it.
And the fear of abandonment and the fear of it's the what if. The what if and what if it turns out great? How about what if that?
Yeah.
That's one thing I always say to people, like, so what if what if it doesn't work out? What if it does work out great? It's a great question. No harm in believing.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no harm in believing. You guys are like a walking testimonial to like you can have what you want.
And you can.
In a lot of ways. Yeah,
and sometimes it may take a little longer than you expect. That's a matter of being...
This wasn't your original plan, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, we're both strong-headed anyway, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. But it's turned out to be way more positive than anything.
Yeah, and of course, in being in Sedona, there's, a little bit more of a different mindset among a lot of my patients, and we can have a totally different show about that. But
the vortexes.
The vortexes, and
crystals.
There is a woman who works in our office, and, I would just love to go to Hawaii. I would love to be living in Hawaii. Great, go.
Go. Beat it.
Go. And, well, if it's meant to be, it will happen. It'll
go.
It'll just go. I don't understand. what you're waiting for, or if you're waiting for it to come knocking on your door, because it's not. It might. It might.
People all
but
the
it
time,
won't.
They say the same thing. It's like, I want to change things. Well, then do something about it. Like, I'm here to help you. If you don't want to work with me, go somewhere else.
Exactly. You know, and there's a point of waiting and being complacent and patient. But there's, in the meantime, what are you doing to get you to that next step?
Yep.
Are you doing those steps to be congruent with where you want to be? All right, I'd like to lose 30 pounds by Thanksgiving. Fantastic. What are you doing today?
Yep.
What are you doing
Everybody
today?
wants to make that big jump. They don't want to do, like, nobody wants to lose 2 pounds. They want to lose 30 pounds. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Nobody wants to make $50.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants to do the big things. People are watching or listening right now, and they're thinking, okay, that sounds great. I'd love to be like that. What do they do?
Yeah.
You take the step. You work on you. I'm dissecting what you're saying. Right. And you take a chance, and you see if it works. And if it doesn't, figure something else out.
Exactly.
And that is, I think, as complicated as it gets. And I think we over analyze it because we want it to work a different way than that. But yeah, this has been like super exciting. I mean, for me, this is like a parent watching someone at a soccer game. Like, you told me, hey, I want to make a relationship work. And you're like, hey, I came here. Wonder if this thing's going to work and want to build this practice. And you're out doing it. So I will tell everyone watching this just wholeheartedly, take their advice. This is a prime example of, like, absolutely people that made a decision, figure out what they want. And what I love his courage to come back different and to show up different back into your life again. And that's really one of the big things about Core. Any other thoughts or questions or anything?
Well, that was one of my big fears was past relationships, never working. So I'm going to run.
Yeah.
You know, and next one will work. No, I knew that I had a gem here, and I'd be stupid.
Got that in.
I would have been a dummy.
The big gem is the polishing you guys are doing. And I think relationships either they get dull or they get polished. And I think you guys are doing a great job polishing the gem of your relationship. Which
exactly.
I love to see. We've got to get this out post Valentine's Day. You know, get people excited about life, which is super, super cool. So we'll close down shop. We'll talk a little more. I want to hear more about this afterwards, about the horses. I want to hear more what's going on. I'm excited to work with the team a little bit on voice and help everybody out with that. I'm going to close down the show and say thank you, everybody, for being out in the Average Sucks show. If you are listening right now, definitely want to make certain to check out Average Sucks Show. theaveragesucksshow.com/relationships. Again, you want to go to theaveragesucksshow.com/relationships. And when you go there, you get access to the training that I talked about earlier, pick up a little bit of what we covered. And when you get a moment, watch that. I'll share with you a little bit how call to action works, how you can get started. You can wind up, be the next Slade, be the next Carlson family. Get yourself out there and allow yourself to make things happen. And the reason I say be the Slade, you got to go first. And that's the one thing I'm going to tell you is if you would have known about it, you would have went first, or maybe he would have went first.
Right.
I don't know how that would be, but we'd figure all that out. So appreciate it. Make certain to subscribe. Make certain to click subscribe. Leave a review on this show. And we're super excited to share this with you. And if you want relationships to work on the relationship with you first. Check it out, theaveragesucksshow.com/relationships with an S, because they're going to work on all relationships to make them grow. Thank you.